Hey everybody, how you doing today? This is Trunk here, and we are here doing something very interesting. Something that I've not done before. Well, I've not done before because I couldn't have done it before. And this is we're going to be taking the move this. We're going to be taking the Digital Larynx script writer, which is brand new. We just literally just finished writing it and uploaded it yesterday. And we're going to use the script writer to capture Vagrant Story, which is an old PS1 game. And yeah, it stinks. This is I've had this thing so long. At one point, I'm not sure how it happened, but my jewel case cracked on this game, so that kind of stinks. But so I'm going to capture. The goal today is that I want to create a script for Vagrant Story on my Digital Larynx app, because I don't have a script written for it yet. And going to do that live on stream. And so if anybody wants to just have a nice little combo while I'm working on this, feel free. I think it's a great way to show off what the app can do and make some friends in the process. So with that, this is let's see. I don't even know what to. Oh, I don't think I don't remember watching this scene the first time I got this game. So we're going to start this over so that I can capture all this dialogue. And I'll go ahead and do that now. Let's see. Should be able to see the button and go back to the. All right, so let's watch the intro movie, and then we'll get. So that cutscene, the cutscenes that were there in the beginning, do not happen if you just go straight into the game. So I wanted to capture them all. I'm going to be pausing during the cutscenes. I'm going to have to pause the game itself, using DuckStation's pausing ability so that I can capture the line whenever I need to. So I'm going to go through the whole process of everything that we're doing with Digital Larynx and capturing the lines and get that all taken care of live on stream. This is actually a game that I've been wanting to replay for a while. I keep seeing it on my shelf. It's like, oh man, I remember loving this game when I was in college, and so I'm ready to just like remember the story, I guess. So we're gonna wait till this first line comes on. This is a kind of a tech demo, I guess. Maybe. Oh. Okay. Well, we'll. First things first. I'm going to grab this. So what I did here was I'm adding a region to capture. I don't think the. Well, I'm gonna have to keep it in there. because of the setup, I'm going to have to remove all the regions for normal gameplay anyway. But so this is really bad text, so I'm probably going to have to fix a lot of it. It may or may not read this very well because of the kind of dark text on the black background, but we'll see how it does. Oh, it did better than I thought. So you'll see this is what it actively read. Gonna I'm pretty that would be so that would be good enough to that would be good enough to actually speak the text out loud. Were you using this in the actual, or was I using this once the script is created and we have live gameplay and all that? So I'm gonna take the dialogue and I'm just gonna retype it all because I don't want it in the script in all caps, but it doesn't really matter. Let's see, an unsolved felony. Let's see. That may affect state security. Okay, so this is going to be in the prologue, since it's before we even get into the game. Region, I don't know where he was. Let's see. Let's see. I already put some characters in here, as you can see. We're just going to give this to the narrator. Oh, let me give the narrator a voice too. Let's see, narrator. Whose voice should we give the narrator? I typically like to give the narrator. It's not Daniel. And we can test all any of the voices. Is it Daniel? I don't think it's Daniel that I like to give him. It's definitely not Brian. Maybe it is Daniel. Let's check it out.
The world is round, and the world is round, which may seem like the end, which may seem also be the beginning, may also be the beginning.
I'm gonna have to fix that on the back end. I had it where if you clicked it the second time, it wouldn't speak again. But that's fine. So I'm gonna have to patch that. I'm not sure. I must have made some change that that broke that unintentionally. Let's see. That's not sure where that is. I might have to. Yeah. It's the prologue anyway. It doesn't really matter. Let's see. Narrator. It's just a major character. It doesn't. Not in the main cast. Okay. So we're gonna confirm the line. Oh, yeah, no variables. It's gonna read it to us. I think. Oh, unless I forget to click my play voice and confirm. That's fine. We've received a report from the Valencia Knights of the Peace regarding the unsolved felony that may affect state security. That's fine. Okay, so we've got that. We've got that line taken care of, and in my script you'll see we've got here in the prologue the narrator saying this line. So let's go ahead and move on. Okay, there we go. Now I've got the next line. It reads, Ashley Riot, an agent of the Risk Breaker militia, has murdered a senior member, if I can spell correctly, of Parliament, Duke Cordoba, and is still at large. This is interesting because it's given us some insight into the game. Narrator, it is still the prologue. Okay. Some type of bug was trying to eat me. I looked like a mosquito. I don't like those. I don't think anybody likes mosquitoes. Okay. Yeah, no real location, so go ahead and confirm that line, and it should now read it to us.
Ashley Riot, an agent of the Riskbreaker militia, has murdered a senior member of Parliament, Duke Cordoba, and is still at large.
How's that? I did notice it's so I'm gonna have to remove this colon here because really okay, that's why the cloud. So I saved it live to the cloud. As an admin, I can do that. Typically you can just save it to a local your local database, and then once you're done with the game, you'd submit that, and I or another admin would look at the file and approve it for addition to the live database, and then anybody can download the script. So, but yeah, so what happened was the program is looking for a like when it sees something colon, it's expecting a character there. You know what? I'm just going to fix that on the back end where it doesn't look for the colon in the actual line itself, only if it sees a. I'm going to say that again. Only if it sees a if it sees the 5 spaces, it ignores colons. I need to put that in the. So that's a bug that I'm going to have to fix as we continue. But go back to the capture screen, and we will continue on to the next line. Okay, now we have our first. I'm gonna have to look up some of these characters because I don't know who they are. So, but okay. I'd forgotten I'd already created those regions. So I'd have normally I'd have to make another region here. But I switched it to cloud, and on the cloud I had kind of was testing things, and I'd already made the normal text regions. So it just decided to capture it already. I was looking up the characters, so I don't really know who that is. Okay. So we're going to do 3, the ellipsis. Oops. Okay, so this guy is let's see. I think no, I don't have him on the list yet. So we're going to make a new character, and put that. You'll see a little bit of my OBS because I'm going to look up who this guy is because I don't really. Let's see. Vagrant Story characters. Is that Guildenstern? No. Maybe. I don't think that's Guildenstern. Let's see. Is that Rosencrantz? Can't really tell. Let's see. I'm gonna, you know what? Because that's the. I'm gonna just look up the in-game character models. Okay. No, that's a useful picture. I grabbed this and show you guys. Look at that. All the character models available for me. So I can see who's who. That is an incredibly useful picture. All right. Okay. So I'm going to take this tab, do that, so that I can more easily move this around and see everything. Okay. So he's got black sleeves. No. Oh, that's Harden. Okay. Yeah, that is definitely Harden. Okay, that is John Harden, the cultist. He is a member of the cultist or the Mullen Camp cult. So, all right. So I'll put John Harden. He's going to be a major character, not a main character. And let's see. Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. So it does consider him. See, he is typically considered main cast. Okay. So we got Ashley Riot, who's the protagonist of the game, Sydney Losterot, who is the leader of the Mullenkamp cult. Um, yeah, Romeo Guildenstern, Jan Rosenkrantz, Callum Merlot's, Duke Bardorba, if I can speak, and John Harden. So he is considered main cast. So we'll go ahead and tag him as main cast. Uh, and we did not save him yet. So it's probably going to read it in the narrator voice, and I'm going to have to choose a voice for him after it creates the character. And then, although I might be able to see, it worked. It worked with the other characters. I should be able to do this and just manually add a character. Maybe. Oh, helps if I give him a name. John Harden. Add. Okay. I am going to need to change that. So this is a good test for me because I'm find being able to do this is also letting me look up any bugs that I have not seen yet because I haven't done enough extensive. Haven't. This is kind of also a testing thing for me, so that I can knock out as many of the or run through as much of the process of running the app as I can. And this one's not a bug I have run into before. So let's see. I'm just going to keep a log of bugs that I need to fix. So manual add character needs options. I don't know what that means because there's several things I want to do to change on that. I'm gonna basically when I put a name in, hit the add button, I want to have a little window pop up that has some various choices based on what the character is, what's required of the character in the game. So we'll go back to capture. Choose John Harden and notice that it auto selected main, at least it flashed up. But yeah, so he's main cast. Oh, we didn't set a voice for him. So, because we don't want him, the Microsoft David voice is not very good. Let's see, what would be a good villain voice for him? Because he is in the Mullenkamp and they're the antagonists. Let's see, definitely not that. As you can see, I made a bunch of characters. If you recognize some of these names, I made a bunch of characters for Final Fantasy IV. And a couple of generic ones as well. Let's go with let's go with Kane.
Honestly, sometimes I wonder if I'm cut out for this.
All right. I need to stop.
Dad made it look so easy, you know?
Okay, that's the thing.
Being a dragoon, a hero. I just hope I don't mess it up. There are days the darkness tries to pull me under, but then I think well, of those who believe in me. That's what keeps me going. It always does.
Putting in a note for my bugs. This is one of the ones that we saw earlier as well. Um, let's see. So, all right, so I'm gonna basically turn the play button into a stop button so that once you start hearing the voice, you don't have to go through all the dialogue. You can just hit the stop. And I also need to, let's see, stop multiple plays at once on the character screen. Okay. So we've got him a voice now. So we're going to confirm the line and he's going to say it.
Show them who they're dealing with.
All right. This is looks like some junk that it picked up somewhere. So we're going to delete this line because it's not legit. Oh, that and it went back to this. Okay, so we've cleared the lines. I don't need to put it in the second time. And we're going to continue with our game. And now we immediately have another line. It did not read that one as well as the other one, but it is close enough that the app should be able to recognize it later. That's lovely. Okay, so oh, that's location. It's like, why isn't that not specified? Okay, so now we have him. We can select John Harden from our list. Ah, or I could just click it down here. I forget about that. Next, and so I have figured out this is if this is where they've got the hostages, that means that is Duke. Let me make sure I'm spelling that Bardorba. So kind of pre-watched a couple of things on this, so I already know a little bit of the opening story. Not only from the opening scenes did I look at anything, just because most of the rest of this I've forgotten completely. But I do know that if they're talking about killing the hostages, that means this has to be in Bardorba's manor. So I'm going to put that in the location. We're going to confirm.
Torch the chambers and kill the hostages!
And so I'll go ahead and correct this now. Let's see. Since we know that is now the location, obviously the narrator isn't in a location, so who knows where he's saying that from, but we know that's there, so I can now delete all of this. Okay. And hopefully it won't. I might, depending, I can't. So I might have to clean this up again later, because I don't remember if I just had it right. It should have pinned to the end, but I can't remember. I was having some trouble when with getting it to, because of the way it works in the back end. I was having some trouble getting it to push to the end of the script, and I might have just had, because I've got it saved in a couple of, it's saved in a different spot than this particular script is, because it's using more of a database rather than a single dump. You'll also notice that since we have a main cast character, it included him there in our main cast list. So those edits that I just made may go back. I can't remember if I was able to fix that or not. I may have just left it as is. But that being said, let's go on to the next line in the dialogue. There's our protagonist, Ashley. All right, we have our next line in the script. Here it goes. So this is just going to be a minor character. We'll just call him Cultist. Okay, so we're just going to call him Cultist. Going to be a minor character. He's in Bardoba's Manor in the prologue. And we'll confirm. It's probably going to, because I didn't make the character first, it's just going to give him a Microsoft David voice as the default.
Let's finish this
Oh.
before the blades arrive.
Okay, so sorry, I was wrong about that. I fixed that. It gave him the narrator voice by default. Okay, so now we have notice that the character itself got the Microsoft David voice, but it read it in the narrator voice. So I did fix that portion so that it doesn't read in Microsoft David by default, because that was kind of annoying. Let's give him, you know what, it doesn't even matter because we're probably not going to see him again. So we'll go back to capture and we'll get to the next line. Oh no, I missed it. Well, okay. So we're gonna. So since we missed it, it's. We're just gonna give him another line. I'll check on the. I can check on that as well, but we'll give him the line even though it missed reading it, which is fine.
Who goes there?
Okay. I also wanted to check that. Oh, good. Good. I did fix that. That's what I was afraid of. All right. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. It get rid of my region that I'd captured earlier. So I'm just going to add this guy here in the middle. I believe it was about that big. Go ahead and save it now. Okay, and then we'll run so that it captures it again. That that did not read that very well. I'm gonna try that again. Read it better at least. Still not great, but better. Okay. Okay, so that is going to be narrator. Let's click on his name here. Narrator. The narrator himself is not in Cordoba's manner. Not that it really matters, actually. I'll go ahead and leave it in there. Okay, I'll just go ahead and leave it in there so it doesn't confuse the scripting.
The incident began with the occupation of the Duke's manor a week ago.
Yeah, okay, we're good. Oh, that's the one thing. Okay. Oh, because I removed the regions. So it's a perfect opportunity to grab the upper region. Okay. And we'll run that. There we go. And you'll notice on the capture screen, because there's this region and the upper region now, it just shows them both to you. Even though it's only using, so it captures them separately, and if it sees like noise in one but it sees text in another, it will use the one with the text in it to. Okay. And this is one of our new characters, or the character, or a character we haven't seen yet. Here, blonde. I think this is Guildenstern. Yes, this is Guildenstern, who is the leader of the Order of Crimson Blades and Knights of the Cross. And he's a Knight of the Cross. Okay. So that is Romeo Guildenstern. How very fitting for the origin of his name. Okay, he is part of the main cast. Oops. Put a colon there. I don't need to put the colon there. Okay, Romeo Guildenstern. And it's going to read it in the narrator voice, but we'll go.
Have you found Sydney?
I'll go in here and give him a voice as well. Let's see. What's Will sound like?
We make our own fortunes and we call them fate.
Sure. That's gonna be Romeo. All right, and let's continue. Now we have another region to capture. So we'll go ahead and add the bottom region as well. Pretty much capturing the whole scene in the whole screen in 3 different parts now. And now it is grabbing not yet, sir. And this is just going to be a guard. Or let's see. Hey, Waz, what's going on? You are joining me in my in using my new scriptwriter to work on Vagrant Story here, and it's an interesting process doing it like this. Let's see, this guy is going to be, oh, what is it? He's a knight, right? What is that group called? It is called Order of the Crimson Braid, Knight of the Cross. Let's see. We'll just call him a knight. And okay, he is a minor character.
Not yet, sir.
And we will continue our game. Pausing it again so we can capture this line. Only 2 L's in Will. Okay, and this is Guildenstern. And we're going to confirm that line.
Put out the fires, or we'll lose the manor and all will be for naught.
And I've got a visitor in the background, as you can see behind me there. Yes, Sylvia? Meow. Adjust the blaze, the other to exterminate the traitors. And it's going to be Guildenstern again.
Split the knights into 2 groups, one to douse the blaze, the other to exterminate the traitors.
Right, why did my bar show up again? What's going on? Oh. Not sure why that happened, but okay. All right, we will. All right, that's our knight friend again. For some reason, it read that line twice. There we go. Hey, look at that. That was except for the capitalization. And this is going to be that knight. There he is. Okay.
Right away, sir.
Okay. I'm going to delete this one. I'm going to capture it again after that. There we go. Where are you, Sydney? Guildenstern saying that. Drink real quick.
Where are you, Sydney?
Okay. There we go. That did not read that well at all. At all. Let's see, there's no. I don't know how to type an umlaut outside of going to a character map. Hold on. So we'll do that. We'll go to a character map. Umlaut. I'm not sure which one's grammatically correct in this instance. We'll do it like on the screen. Okay. That one is narrator. And we'll go ahead and confirm.
Sydney, leader of the occupying cult group Mullenkamp, took hostages, demanding the resignation of the cardinal and the release of prisoners.
All right, and let's continue. Hey, Amelia girl, how you doing? Welcome into the stream. Okay, let's get our next line. Oh, that's Sydney. Okay. Duke is capitalized. So this is our first Sydney line. We're going to have to come up with let me look up how to spell that name correctly real quick. All right. Sydney Losterot. And he is definitely main cast, being the primary antagonist. So we'll go ahead and have the narrator read it.
Curse the Duke. Where's he hidden it?
Let's find a good voice for him. Definitely not that. I'm not sure. I need a gruff voice, like a. Deep. No, we don't. We don't want comforty, but let's see. Let's try this guy. What's this guy sound like?
Love all, trust a few, do wrong to none.
Let's try it. Let's try that voice. Sure. That is junk. Okay. And we'll continue with our quest to. And that is John. Don't need that line. There we go. Already done that line. There we go. Okay, so this is John Harden.
You sure the Duke really has it?
All right, this one's much easier. John again, and confirm.
Does the damn thing even exist?
Shoot. I did not expect it to. All right, so I'm just going to put that line into the script here. That is Sydney again.
You doubt my power.
Oops. I messed that up because that was. There we go. Oh, that has a question mark at the end of it. Do-do-do-do-do. Huh, yeah, that with the background, it had a lot easier time reading that. Okay, so that is going to be the narrator. And we'll confirm that line.
What was the felon Sydney's true objective, and where on earth are those who escaped?
All right, I do not know who that's going to be. Delete the line, okay. Oh, I bet that's John. I am going to make a guess at John Harden because that would make sense contextually of what we've seen so far. If I'm wrong, I can change it.
Forgive me, I did not intend.
Yep. John again.
But Sydney.
John again.
Any longer, and there will be no escape for us.
Okay, that's going to be Sydney. Oops. Maybe G there. No, don't want any typos. Let's see. Sydney Lesterot. Okay. Confirm.
Stop your whimpering.
There we go. Sydney. Go.
You'd come this far only to leave empty-handed?
That is not a line. Okay, now search. Hey, read that one perfect, except for the capitalization. Sydney. Okay.
Now search!
Okay, there we go. Speaker's going to be narrator.
Only Agent Riot, once our dear comrade, can answer these questions. Spare no effort finding him.
I'm guessing that's going to be Ashley. Ashley Riot. Main cast. Confirm.
Don't move, Sydney.
Let's see. Let's give him. Where's Sid? I wanted to give him Cecil. I'm sorry. Cecil Harvey. That's the voice I wanted to give him. Ashley, and let's play it.
I've got a bowgun aimed at your heart.
Shoot. Oh, crap. I did not mean to do that. All right, well, we'll just add that script here. Okay, so that's master that. And Ashley and go.
Now turn around slowly.
This is This takes a while to do. But probably a bit quicker than trying to do all this without the app. Let's see. That's Sydney.
This is an unfortunate turn of events.
There's John.
Sydney!
Okay. Now, one thing that is on the back end is it does look at the text that it read, and as I'm creating the script, there's kind of a hidden back end that is also building where because likely the program is going to the OCR, that's optical character recognition. The OCR is probably going to read the same words in a very similar way again. So it saves on the back end a kind of like hidden second script that is basically a translator for what the OCR sees into the actual line, so that once the script is fully created and in the system, it will be able to when anybody plays it, if it sees this line, it automatically knows it's this hold it line and then plays it much faster that way. There's a lot of small stuff in the back end like that I've had that while testing, because the OCR in older games is sometimes very challenging to read correctly. So there's a lot of subtle like things like that in the back end that I've done to correct and cut down the time it takes to read, to go from reading what's on the screen to sending out in voice. So in case you're curious about the back end stuff on how everything works,
Hold it!
all right.
What's going on? You were most certainly dead.
There we go. And there. Yes. I have a visitor again. She wants my attention. Very demanding, this one. Let's see. That's a interesting way to do that, but I'm not sure how it wants it read. Meow. Silly little kitty in the background, always meowing at me. All right.
So, still think the dead only rise in fairy tales?
Should have put it. So another thing that we can do with the system is put emotes in, and I can so let's see. Call that breathless. So this basically gives the this will give the AI instructions on how to read it. So instead of just speaking that line normally, he can be like, so more, so still think the dead only rise in fairy tales or fairy tales, that type of thing. Instead of, gives some direction on how to make it more emotive and more lifelike. Now, one thing that I will say is that so I ended up the initial release had a different OCR that I was using. And it did not read the text on the screen nearly as well as this one does. The like this really dark text on the black screen would have like given my first OCR that I was using fits. And so this one that I integrated is so much better. It still obviously it still does make a few mistakes, but it reads the video game text 100 times better than the other one did. I was with the other OCR, I was fighting it tooth and nail just to get it to read anything correctly. This one I have a lot less trouble. Okay, and this is going to be the narrator, not Romeo, narrator. There we go.
Also, there is a peculiar rumor that many there saw dragon as the Duke's residence burned.
Okay, there we go. That is the middle text reading. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and see how that reads it. Hopefully that will read it better. I'm still working on the emotive portion of things, so it may or may not work that well.
Breathless? My
Yep.
apologies. I've no time to toy with you.
Okay. That is a bug on the script writer itself that I'm going to have to take care of. So, oops. I'm going to add that to my bug correction list. I think that may be the first time I've tried to put an emote, or at least while I was letting it read the voice to me. I've been some of my testing was, or actually most of my testing was just writing it and not listening to the voice, so that I'm not using up my credits, because I have to pay for those credits too, which is why I have to charge for them. Let's see. All right. So now I have my new item on my bug list to fix. So probably in the next day or two, I'm going to be coming out with a version 1.3.2 with some bug fixes. All right. Oh, I read that perfectly. Okay, let's get to the I should have that's fine. There we go. That's going to be our narrator.
Good luck and Godspeed.
Yeah, we don't need the now loading to be spoken out loud. Here's our opening movie. And there is another scene we have to go through. Actually, there's two other scenes that I recall correctly. And this is before we even start the game. That is jumped as far as we're concerned. All right, here we go. New scene. Maybe. Okay, it should be reading that. Yep. Okay. VKP headquarters. Valnane. Let's see. Prologue. Well, we know this is now in the VKP headquarters. And it's going to be the narrator saying it.
VKP headquarters. Valnane 0, 24 AM.
Okay, so... Okay, so this guy here in the middle is, I believe that is... let's see, he is not listed, he's not on the picture that I have. But I believe he's one of the characters that Steward Lestate, that's who it is. He is not considered one of the main characters. Let's see. But let's see. Yeah, we already know what happened there. We're going kind of in the... Oh, I need my character map again. Okay. Okay, and this is going to be Steward Lestate. Let's give him a voice since... Oh, there's a fierce warrior there. Somebody already Charlie. I think we already have, yeah. We already have a Charlie. And I know it would be fun. I know it would be interesting to give him, just because the voice doesn't fit. This one, it's one of my favorite voices that I've created, but it definitely doesn't fit this character. And I think the juxtaposition of this voice would be funny. Okay, he's going to be a major character.
Six hours have passed since the occupation of the Duke's Manor by one Sidney Lostaret, founder and leader of the Mullencamp sect.
See? It's a good voice. I don't think it really fits this character, but it's a good voice. Okay. Steward Lestate.
He and his allies have taken the Duke's family and servants hostage.
And again, steward the state, and confirm.
They hold the manor as we speak.
I believe that is the Inquisitor. Which is the lady with the cigarette. Oh, wait. That is not. There we go. Speaker. And let's give her a voice. Definitely not. Let's try Lily. I don't know what this voice sounds like, but we'll do it anyway.
To what purpose?
The shim. And steward the seat.
The scum make two demands.
Okay. Release. They're imprisoned. Comrades. Abdication of Cardinal Bastion. Or Batistum. If I can recollect correctly.
The release of their imprisoned comrades and the abdication of Cardinal Batistum.
And there's Ashley.
Yes, their religious freedom within limits is protected.
Oh, whoops. Okay. Yet. Yet the religious freedom within limits. Whoops. All right, Ashley.
On what pretext shall we apprehend them?
Hey, good. Glad that was still in memory. There we go. And that is an liquid. Just on our. There we go.
We need no pretext. Mullenkamp is a pack of rogues hiding behind a priest's frock.
Okay. And Inquisitor.
We believe them responsible for the attempt on our sovereign's life this Yuletide past.
Ashley? Okay.
And the VKP will not free their comrades?
Huh. It's an M dash. I'll just leave it out because let's see. Street.
Certainly not. Do you know how many agents gave their lives?
Okay, so this is, I believe I have him as a character already too. No, this is not Cardinal. This is Duke Bardoba. That's who it is. Okay. This will be Will. So Duke Bardoba. Pretty sure he is not main cast material. Oh, no, he is. Okay. Apparently has a pretty big role. And I'm getting meowed at. Yeah? Meow to you too. Let's see. Bardoba. I don't know why I was looking for his name down there when I've already got it up here. Okay, so we're going to confirm that.
All because of this religious freedom.
Duke Bardoba. Confirm.
Too much freedom, too many gods.
And there we go. And Duke Bardoba.
Let those cultist Kura dogs run loose, and they will bite you. Gods, while our parliament cowers.
This is a lot of exposition for even before you start the game.
Strike that outburst from the record.
Apparently there's somebody recording this behind them. Assuming the secretary. So that's going to be a minor character, I'm sure.
Yes, my lord.
Oh, that's Ashley's line. Oh, shoot. See if I can get it to read again. Let's see. None of that is what I want. I'm going to cover this a bit and then bring it back with my data plus nay. I guess that wasn't enough to. Okay. There we go. That's the bit I was looking for. And that is Ashley saying that.
Are cults not the Templars' concern?
Why is that? Okay. Get rid of that guy. Ashley again.
Why must we be involved?
Title. Oh, that doesn't say title. That says, oops, something else. I don't think that really matters, though, because he's not actually saying anything. I wonder who that is. Okay. Wait, I thought the... Hold on. Did I get that wrong? That definitely looks like the bald guy. Okay. This is... That's who I thought was speaking at the table. It definitely looks like him. Let's see. That's interesting that, let's see. Let's see. No, that doesn't have... Nope. Hmm. Okay, I'm not finding anything with his character model, but yeah, when I read before about this was that guy was Bardoba. So I'm not sure. I'm just going to leave it like that. We'll call this Shadow Council. We'll stick him as a minor character unless if I find out who that is later and it's a named character, I can always update that in the script.
Our inquisitors have found that Mullenkamp's coin comes from the captive Duke himself.
Maybe that's the cardinal. That's the Shadow Council.
Indeed, Valendia might still be at war with itself, were it not for the Duke's heroism. Yet he wields much of his power from the shadows.
Oh! Look at all these people in the background. Let's see. What is it? Cardinal. Let's see. Abdication of Cardinal. What? Maybe that's the Cardinal. Batistum. Batistum. See if there's a picture of Cardinal Batistum. Oh, no, he never appears in the game itself. So, no, that is not Batistum. Okay. Oh, we will... I'll look it up after the stream. This is again the Shadow Council.
Even after his retirement, his grip on Parliament is unrelenting.
breakfast time. And Shadow Council again.
We have watched him long enough. Now it is time to act.
Okay. Yeah, so those knights at the place were a different faction from the one we're in.
Furthermore, we must find out why the Cardinal sent his blades to deal with this incident without our approval.
Okay. That is Inquisitor Heldricht.
Inquisitor Heldricht will explain.
Oh, that's funny. That was my bad. Let's fix that. Okay. Okay.
You will go to the Greylands immediately.
Map of the Manor Grounds. Map of the Manor Grounds is near carriage, and also the Inquisitor.
A map of the manor grounds is in your carriage. I've sent one of my agents ahead. She will fill you in when you arrive.
Hello, cat.
She?
Oops, I ignored. Meow? Why meow? Okay. Inquisitor.
Agent Merlos.
All right. There's narrator.
Duke Bardoba's Manor, Greylands, 1:58 a.m.
And this is going to be Callow. Melrose. There we go. Main cast. This is Bardoba's Manor. And let's go ahead and give her a voice. Give her Ridius.
Agent Riot, I presume? I'm your partner, Callow Merlos.
Let's see. There we go. And hello, confirm.
But please, call me Cal. How was your journey?
That is a junk line. And Ashley again.
How many are there?
They like ellipses in this game. There's like ellipses all over the place.
Our scouts report a dozen men. Of course, we have yet to spot Sydney, and there may be more inside the manor.
Ashley?
Hostages?
including the Duke's family and servants, 3D4.
Okay. Okay. So that is so the guy in the council didn't know what he was talking about. The Duke was sitting right there. Makes the most sense.
Thankfully, the Duke himself was away at the time.
Or maybe not. If okay, so that's not the Duke in there then. I need to fix that. Okay, so I'll need to figure out who that person is. I'll do that after stream though.
The Duke was not taken captive.
Nay.
How fare the blades?
We will have to wait and see.
Hello.
With the hostages inside, direct action is perilous.
Might read the hyphen, so.
We must negotiate with Sydney while we collect information to aid our final. What is this one?
Oh, did I accidentally put a 1 there? Oh, yep. I didn't hit shift. Oops. Let's see, make sure that changed. Okay. That's Ashley.
It seems the siege has begun. The Cardinal's blades have made their move.
We've given no such order. Their actions are in direct defiance of our authority.
Okay.
Perhaps their hand was forced?
Hello.
Wait, where are you going?
The blades have provided the perfect distraction.
It's far too dangerous. We must wait for reinforcements.
Reinforcements?
Alright, that's a pretty badass line.
I aim the reinforcements.
Wait, did I actually? Oh. Whoops. Okay. At least it's easy to fix the any typos you make. We don't need for it to tell us now. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the capture. Now, what we're gonna do is take all that script that we have written and turn off script editor mode. And when so it should go back to that other scene that we did first. when it does, I'm going to just let the game or the app itself just read the game to us in all the voices. Let's see, I'm pretty sure that a second. Before I do that, I did notice the characters, so it didn't shoot. So I'm gonna real quick. I'm gonna extract the characters from the script. You need the cultist, Romeo Knight, Sydney. That is not a character. Secretary Shadow Council. That is not a character. Okay. So now you notice it. I'm gonna have to reassign voices. So okay, that's the Shadow Council was. Let's see. I don't remember what I gave him. I'm gonna try this. Fierce warrior guy for Sydney. Okay, Romeo Guildenstern is going to be. I'll do that. We'll do Theodore. He's not even in the game. We determined. So I'm going to delete that character. I guess I'd put him based on who was in the. So who is that in the meeting? I'm going to have to figure that out. Let's go with. What about that? The knight is going to be Liam. I'll go with Harry. No, that we already did Harry. We already did a fierce warrior Harry. Will? No, we already have Will as well. Roger. Let's see. There we go. And Shadow Council is going to be Callum. I think that's so everybody's different now. So we're going to continue the game. And we'll capture, and we'll see how well this works.
We have received a report from the Valendia Knights of the Peace regarding an unsolved felony that may affect state security.
It's taking a little bit longer than I'd like to capture that. Yeah, these are going too fast. I think my system is slowed down a little bit too from all the stuff I have open. Okay.
Who goes there?
There we go. Okay. That was much faster and better.
The incident began with the occupation of the Duke's Manor a week ago.
Okay, that was much better. I don't know what happened that first time. Why it was having such trouble. think those didn't stay on the screen long enough for it to capture.
Sydney, leader of the occupying cult group Mullenkamp, took hostages, demanding the resignation of the Cardinal and the release of prisoners. What was the felon Sydney's true objective, and where on earth are those who escaped?
Any longer, and there will be no escape for us.
See that line that lasted a little bit longer? It had time enough to capture it. I'm gonna have to see if I can speed up.
Only Agent Riot, once our dear comrade, can answer these questions. Spare no effort finding him.
So the way it works, this is super dynamic, so it's hard to.
Also, there is a peculiar rumor that many there saw dragon as the Duke's residence burned. Vagrant Story trademark.
That read it, and it didn't even need my.
Good luck and Godspeed.
Okay. Go ahead and pause the game. So what we've seen is that basically how it works on the back end, it looks for an image on the screen that's static long enough that it can tell that text is there to read. And because almost all games, older games, are going to be ones where you hit the button to continue to the next piece of text. There's not really many instances that occur like this, where the text is dynamic and it's flowing without you actually hitting a button to make it continue. And so what has happened is that because it was programmed in a way that it looks for static text, and this is so that it's not just like getting bogged down with looking at the image over and over again, and it taking because that's kind of an intensive processor intensive process of capturing images, determining if there's text on them, and then looking at what that text, or deciphering what that text is. So by having it look for basically two images in a row, so it's constantly capturing images, about at a roughly 10 times a second. But if if an image is if it so basically it looks at an image in each of those regions we set up, and if an image is there, and then it like so another tenth of a second it takes another image, and if those images are exactly the same, that's when it looks for text in the images. But if there's something that has changed inside that image, it presumes that there's action happening on the screen, or you're moving your character around or whatever, and it just ignores that image and kind of discards it. So it's basically looking for two images that are exactly the same in a row. And if it sees two images in a row that are exactly the same, then it sends the image to the OCR. And the OCR looks at the image and then determines whether there's text on it or not. So this video in particular is moving so quickly that for most of those texts, there's either there's either enough happening on the screen that it's like, okay, we're in a moving image, or there's or the text, by the time the text ends, it's off the screen so fast that it can't capture two images that are exactly the same in a row. So it's most likely never actually making it to OCR to even look at the text. Whereas if you notice, all the narrator lines got red because they stayed on the screen long enough that the program could see, okay, this is a static image, let me send it off to OCR and see what we find. And every time that happened, worked perfectly. No shot. Like, great read, played the line, perfect. And even there was two or three lines in that whole action sequence that stayed on the screen long enough where it could grab them. But yeah, most of that was just too quick to actually capture the images real time. So that is something that I'm constantly trying to improve with this app, is getting it being able to capture those images quicker so that it can basically look at that look at the image and get it to OCR, process it, and send it to the voice just as quick as possible. And that's the major challenge with this app, is getting that to happen as quick as possible. And it is a heck of a lot better than it had been in version 1.0, or even version 1.1. Swapping the OCR model sped it up a lot, and then some of the other back-end things that I've had to do in processing have taken that time down from maybe 3 or 4 seconds when I was first doing it. It was like 3 or 4 seconds. It would read the screen and maybe processing for 3 or 4 seconds, and then finally read the line. This has I've cut it down immensely. It takes usually less than a second. Sometime if a lot of times, if you're just following the script, I'll pre-cache the lines because a lot of the time is taken up by querying the AI bot with the line, and then reading the line. That's a lot of the time that got taken up originally. So in order to make that process so that it is as seamless as possible, I have started pre-caching all the lines, and so that if the OCR, so basically, if it reads a line, it's gonna pre-cache a couple of lines ahead of that. So as long as it's following the script pretty closely, then what'll happen is it's already got that that MP3 ready to go with the line. And so if you go down to the next line in the script and it says and the OCR sees that sees the text, checks it against that next line in the script, it hits a match, it immediately reads, and it can get, and so when that happens, it reads it very quick. It is almost instantaneous, and that's what I really like to see, is when you're just following the script and things, and it happens just instantaneously. As soon as it hits the screen, you've got it reading. And that was my goal the whole time. So this is the first time I've dealt with something like this that is so dynamic that it doesn't have time to capture the screens quickly enough. And thus so this is a learning experience for me as well. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining me on that, and got some good notes to fix some bugs on the back end. But overall, this is the script writer portion of the program. As you see, I have several everything in here except for Final Fantasy Legend. I'm still working on that one. Everything else in here is, and obviously Vagrant Story, is good to go. It's got a full script, and it's ready to play. If anybody would like to help me out, download the app, play whatever game you want, and go through this process of writing the script as well. You do get some reward for that. Free credits are given for submitting a script to us, and is basically any script submitted in, I have to approve, just so that things aren't getting in there that shouldn't be. But so I'll turn this back on so you can see. So I'm going back into scriptwriter mode. You'll notice once I'm in scriptwriter mode, I've got this complete and submit script button. You just hit that once you're done writing a script for a game. You'll hit this. You get some things here. If you've completed the game, this is like everything that you've done in the game. Like you've finished the whole game through, knocked out all the multiple endings, anything else, talked to all the side characters, everything. Hit that game fully completed for me, and you'll get rewarded for everything you send in. It's pretty generous for as far as getting the items out. You get some free credits if you just want to use the app. There's a subscription fee based on how many credits you're getting each month, and you get bonus stuff with the higher tiers and that type of thing. And that's all on the website if you want to see. So I've got, if if you haven't completed the game, but you've done it for a long time, and you're like, okay, I don't want to. I'm done playing this game for a while, but I do want to help out. Go ahead and hit the partial script. I would rather get as much done as you can, but I understand. I get distracted by things, and sometimes you don't finish a project you're working on. That's fine. I understand that, but partial script is better than no script. So complete that. Get some free credits that way. If you finished the game but you didn't play through the new game plus, you can click on this new game plus missing. If you finished one, maybe two of the endings, and but didn't go through like all 7, that's fine. Hit this multiple endings, some but not all have been reached. Submit it for review. It'll upload to the database as a pending script. I'll take a look at it, go through it, make sure everything's kosher, and then you'll have contributed to this app, and the community as a whole, I'm sure, will greatly appreciate you, because that's another game they can play with voice. So with that, we just had somebody join. Conquer Draco, thank you for coming in. You caught me right at the end of the stream. I'm about to head out, but this is just to give you a heads up. This is the Digital Larynx app which I made. It basically gives voice to old video games. If you want to check it out, go to digitallarynx.com. It's basically all those games that you always wanted a voice for when you were younger, or when anytime. All these old games, get them to read to you instead of just reading them yourself. But thank you everyone for coming in and joining, and I appreciate it as always, and I will see you guys next time.